No, look.
No.
Easy peasy. Well, hello everybody. Ant-Man here, heading out on a nice rainy afternoon before the nighttime hunt. You know, generally I do like storms to be in the area when you're python hunting. Generally a falling barometer and the kind of movement of the humidity around and so forth gets the snakes to be active. So I do like to see rain in the area, but I do not like to hunt in the rain, because once it actually does rain, depends on the time of year, it can really drop the temperature down a little bit too much and the snakes won't be quite as active. So if it's in the hotter months of the year in South Florida like July or August, you can get away with it, but in the fringes it's not as good. Anyway though, we're going to find quite a few natives and see some cool things along the way, so let's go ahead and jump right on into today's episode. So here's what you have with an extremely sick raccoon that has obviously encountered, it's got distemper, it's got rabies, it's got something. It's sick. Oh man, poor thing. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry, baby. I'm not gonna hurt you, but you ain't gonna live. You ain't doing good. It's a shame, because you see this animal, look how sick it is. There's nothing I can do about it legally. I can't take it out of its misery. I'm not authorized to do that. And unfortunately I do not have reception to get a hold of wildlife to take care of it, but that's a very, very bad shape raccoon. Sorry, brother. Rough stuff. Look at this cute little guy right here. So from far away it almost looks like a rat snake, but what this is a hatchling brown water snake. They're beautiful, beautiful water snakes. They have a cool looking belly. He's flattening himself out right now, trying to make himself look all nasty and intimidating. See how they bite like crazy, but see how they got the somewhat, when they flatten it out, a triangular shaped head, but they got quite the little attitude on them. They're quite cute at this size. Big water snakes, they can have a pretty, I don't want to say a nasty bite, but sometimes I'd rather get bit by the pythons than by the big water snakes, because their saliva can sometimes be a little bit irritating. But this guy's he's out for his first foraging meal. He might have had one or two by now, but he's a young snake, so we're going to go ahead and send him out on his way. Head along there, buddy. Come on, get on the road before someone runs you over. Cool. Beautiful little thing. So earlier we had a little banded water snake. I mean actually we had a brown water snake, excuse me. So this is a banded water snake. They're highly variable in pattern. Some are really dark, some are kind of vibrant and have a little bit of orange in them, but this one right here is I'd say it's kind of typical for some of these areas. Not a particularly great looking snake, but not a bad one. You'll see on their belly, if you just pick it up real gently and show you the belly, they have a beautiful belly. Look at that pattern there. It's like it's painted, but he's flaring out his head a little bit, trying to make himself look like a dangerous snake and all puffing up, but we're gonna let him get about his business. Get off this road before a car comes along and runs him over. There he goes. I'm telling you, I see this little snake, I see this little banded water snake like every single time I come out here. He's emaciated, he looks awful. Go find yourself a meal. Hello there, Mr. Gator. Gonna make a decision here? To cross? No, you gotta be kidding me. This guy's gonna lay on his stomach. Look at this lazy bum. Comes out to the road, think he's gonna cross in front of me. Decides to say, I ain't crossing at all. Very beautiful python. Probably about 7 feet long. And get out of there. That's my foot. Ouch. So we'll try to do this as gently as possible for the snake. Okay. A little musk. This is a very, very beautiful python, man. I rarely see them this light. You can't tell at night, but the blotching on this snake is exceptionally light color. Almost hypo looking. Interesting. Yeah, usually from this area they don't look quite like this, but anyway, time to bag it up. So we saw a little hatchling brown water snake earlier. This is a hatchling banded water snake. They're about the same size, and they're both pretty in their own right, but get that debris off this guy. Yeah, they're both bitey, but beautiful little snakes. You see they got those nice orange coloration in this little banded water snake. They're highly variable in coloration, as I'm sure I've pointed out plenty of times, but they're nice little snakes. They eat little tiny tadpoles and minnows and little frogs and things of that nature. Oftentimes you'll see these, especially as adults, when there's little puddles drying up in the Everglades that have isolated fish trapped in them. A lot of these times these things will sit there and just gorge themselves. So pretty cool. We're gonna get him off the road and send him off where he was going. Go on there, buddy. We got a really awesome little find right here. So this is a hatchling eastern mud snake, and you want to talk about a spectacular looking animal. Look at that snake. Is that not one of the most gorgeous things you've ever seen in your life? So this is a hatchling. These snakes will actually, in some cases, in rare cases, they can attain 5 feet in length, but most often, especially the ones we see now in South Florida, they're usually 3 feet or less. But what a beautiful, beautiful animal. So when these grow up, they'll feed primarily on sirens and infumas, but when they're small like this, they can eat tadpoles and little frogs and stuff. But this is just one of the most gorgeous snakes that we have in the eastern United States. As they grow older, that red coloration that you see here on the belly, that'll turn to a pink coloration, but they'll maintain that glossy black appearance. And wow, I mean, just what a spectacular, spectacular animal. I love seeing these. You know, they're not rare, but they're nowhere near as common as they once were in the Florida Everglades. But you see it, sometimes they'll curl their tail and expose it, just like ringneck snakes do. See how it's curling its tail and lifting it up? So when it flashes that bright reddish orange like that, predators will think that they're venomous. So it's like a sign for birds and such. You see how right here, how it's got that tail just kind of coiled up in defense. But what a beautiful, beautiful snake. Something I love to see, and we're going to send this little guy just fresh too, right out of the egg. Boy, that's a young snake. We're going to go ahead and send it on its way. Hope that it has a good life. Go on, buddy. Well, that's a real pretty little banded water snake right there. Look at that gorgeous little thing. Wow. So here's one of the ones that I was talking about that has a little bit more of that gorgeous orange coloration. That's a nice looking snake. It almost has the colors of a broadband water snake like you'd see in Louisiana. They're both extremely similar. It's pretty much the same snake. Slightly different paint job, but he's calming down a little. Aren't you beautiful, sweetie? Lots of hatchling snakes. It's that time of year. We're in the fall, so all the colubrids that hatched out, and the vipers too, from the previous season, are really out. So you don't see as much of that coloration right now because the snake is relaxed. It's not all flared up like it was when I first picked it up and it was expanding its scales and making itself look nice and big. But anyway, this is a very, very pretty little snake, and Well, these species give live birth, so Mom dropped these very, very recently. We're going to go ahead and send this little guy off and wish it well. So, wouldn't you know it? Just after I found that little baby mud snake, and I was showing you how it would coil its tail and flash it as a defense, here we have a little southern ringneck snake. This is an adult, not a big adult, but it is an adult. And you see it's doing the same thing. It'll coil that little tail up and flash that bright orange, and that's a warning to predators that, hey, don't eat me, I'm poisonous. So this is not a poisonous animal to consume per se, but that is something that a natural defense that it has to show predators. So these are harmless to humans, but they are diminutive, cute little guys. And you see that belly on these things. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful snakes. And I don't know if you can see it well, but that neck has a bright orange ring around it, hence the reason they call this the ringneck snake. So ringneck snakes are found throughout the United States, and there's quite a few different species. Out west we get big old gigantic regal ringnecks that are much larger than this, but throughout most of the range they look somewhat like this. The ones from South Florida, where I'm at, tend to be really nice and have really bright bellies like this one. That can vary throughout their range, where the dots kind of vanish and so forth, but they're really pronounced on this little specimen right here. Beautiful snake. Little tiny fossorial things. They're always, they're common in people's yards underneath plant potters and plant pots and pieces of debris and rocks and things of that nature. Very common snakes. If you see other people's videos, you'll probably see that this is a very common snake to be flipped underneath rocks and debris in the forests, pretty much anywhere in the United States. So anyway, we're going to send this little guy off on its way and wish it a good evening. All right, cool. Got ourselves a nice eastern mud snake. Beautiful, beautiful snake. Oh, he's actually periscoping, looking at me right now. Gorgeous animal. These snakes never bite. They get a little twitchy, but they're beautiful. Look at that belly right there. Gorgeous reds and pinks. Used to be an extremely common snake here in South Florida, but not so much anymore. Still see them from time to time, especially if it's a little bit of a rain on a summer day. But very nice nonetheless. Let's take this mud snake, release it back, let it go on its way. Cool. Well, everything must be hatching right now, because here's the second hatchling mud snake tonight. Every bit as gorgeous as the first one. Look at that little thing. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that insane? They are so gorgeous, and when they're young like this, the pattern really climbs up high on their back. As they get older, the back will be solid black, and you'll pretty much only see these bars come up about midway up the body. But when they're young like this, woo, I think this one might even be prettier than the last one. Spectacular, spectacular animals. I mean, whew, you can't get much prettier than that. Look at that little belly. That's what I say to my little doggies when I pet them. Look at that little belly. Yeah. Gators are out tonight. There he goes. Look at him. Ha! Oh, he's got a broken leg on his front left leg. Wow. Poor little guy. Well, he did pretty good. He'd do really good in the water. That wouldn't be an issue at all.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's a good size. It's a perfect size too.
Perfect size.
I don't think I can.
Yes, you can. You can come over and grab it by the tail, and when it strikes at you, just pin its head with your foot.
Can't I just run up there and grab it?
You could.
Grab it by its head.
It's looking at me, so you got the opportunity to do that. But as soon as it detects you, that opportunity is going to go away.
I should grab it by the tail?
You could, but just don't let go.
I can't.
Come
You
on.
sure?
No.
Come on, you can do it.
No,
Come here.
no.
Come on.
Come here. Watch.
No.
Look.
Grab it.
No, look.
No.
Easy peasy.
No.
Yes, woman. That was the
I know.
perfect one.
That was
No.
easy
I know,
peasy.
but I don't know. I'm a watcher.
How easy.
Hillbilly Dave, smile. Yeah, buddy. As you would say. I always go.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. I always just look at him and say, hey, little buddy.
Oh,
Yeah, good deal. That's a nice
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
No.
little
Next one.
6.5 foot. Yeah, we'll get another one.
I
There's,
don't understand, like when you grab a hold of their tail,
they're gonna strike at you, but it's not. You just
what do
pin
you
them.
do?
You hold them out like at arm's distance, and then when they turn and strike at you, you kind of just wiggle them, and then well, Dave could show you. So if you guys want a bag, you can hold the bag, and Dave will put it in. It's probably close to 7 footer, 6.5.
So what
Easy.
we're gonna do is lay it there on the ground.
Lay the bag.
Or just like that.
You can pick it up some. We're gonna let it hold itself in there, and then when I let go, you just shut it. There you go. Wrap it up tight.
See how incredible my spotting abilities were? That one was really hard to see.
I could have found that one.
That one was really hard to spot.
That was
Yeah.
a hard one.
Do you tie it like that?
Laying on concrete in the wide open.
Double bag.
Good deal. Good job, y'all. Next. So see what it's doing? How it's patrolling along?
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing that small pythons do. They patrol along this edge just looking for a meal. So these snakes, they're really easy to handle. They can give you a nip, but the teeth pretty much won't even break your skin if they bother biting, but I'll show you. No, it's okay. Watch. I want to just handle it gently. The key to handling a snake and not getting bit is to let the animal move freely. So see how when it tries moving, I just let it slink through my hands. If I restrain it like this, that's when it'll bite. See it vibrating its tail, it's upset. But these guys are not too prone to bite. You can usually just kind of, this one will calm down in a minute.
We have them at home. It's called a milk snake.
No, actually milk snake's a type of king snake. This is a rat snake. Yeah, they look similar. You're thinking
It's
of,
very similar. It's got
yeah.
the same markings on the head.
Absolutely. They look very similar, but extremely similar. But the milk snake is a type of king snake. This is a type of rat snake. So this guy's all spastic. Calm down, buddy. But he hasn't bit me yet. You want to hold him?
No, thank you.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and Hole might have done and ran and got the shovel and chopped his head off.
you see how he's just fine to handle? You know, he hasn't bit at all. I mean, I've restrained him like this. I'm not even letting him move. He still won't bite. All right, buddy. I want to send you on your way. Yeah, go back to your foraging. Well, I hope you all enjoyed those 2 nights of hunting. It yielded quite a few things, some surprises. Of course, found some pythons, including this really, really light-colored, almost hypo-looking specimen. They pop up from time to time like this in the Everglades, but this was a particularly beautiful snake, and well, it was good to get it out of the Everglades. But I think the highlight for me was just the amount of native snakes that were moving around. Lots of hatchlings. These little hatchling mud snakes like you see here are just incredibly gorgeous animals. Always love to see them. What I don't love to see is poor little things like this raccoon on the first day when I was heading out. This poor little emaciated animal. Don't know if it got into some kind of poison or was injured or somehow, but it was definitely not doing well. But like I said, great to get out there and see all these hatchling snakes. Water snakes makes up the bulk of what you see out there. And of course on night number 2, I was joined by Hillbilly Dave and his wife Chris. And we got out there and found some corn snakes and caught this python that you see here. And it was kind of funny. We had it all set up for Chris to be doing the catching that night. And of course, the second that snake was in front of her there, she had a little bit of a change of heart, which is a pretty common occurrence. But it was always great to get out there with them and have a good time. And of course, in the process, get some of these pythons removed from the Everglades. So, as I always say, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great time out there and hope to see you in the Everglades sometime soon. Take care.